Welcome to episode 4 of Acceptance is Love, where we talk about a colleague of mine, Martin McCovey, who has a beautiful plan regarding passing a bill for driver's education. Is that right? Driver's education. And it's going to do a lot of justice to everybody out there, especially those who are neurodivergent. Welcome back to the show, Martin.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's get right into it. Tell us about what happened to help you construct this bill that you have in mind regarding driver's education.
Before I discuss that, I went to high school in Cerritos, and I went to a good school. In my sophomore year, we had driver's education. Everything was good. It was a good class, and I was very excited, which my parents were very excited. He was a fun teacher. I had. It was a fun class. We did a lot of reading. We did a lot of videos, including CPR, driving with trucks, and traffic safety. Right. So it was a good class. We did all that. So our paraeducators was there and make sure we do what we're supposed to do, to get the pass class, graduate. So when we had tests and quizzes and stuff like that, she made the teacher, she made us, go outside the, area, right? They made the classes, tests and quizzes easier so we can pass. Because back then we had driver's education. At the time, it was state required. So if we didn't pass that class, it was only half a semester, by the way, we were not graduating. So everything was good. I was very excited.
It's tricky. Sounds tricky.
Yeah. So I took the class, fun class, we studied, and I was very excited about getting the pink certificate completion. I was very excited, so doing it the day before finals, right? So my parents in education said, these are a list of people getting pink slips. The only person she told me that I was not getting a pink slip. And she said in a little, kind of meaningful way. So the only person I'll get pink slip was me and my calling student, right? So doing finals, we were watching Pearl Harbor, right? And I was very excited, At first I did accept it, and then, my driver's education teacher, great teacher, fun teacher, right away, he was saying, congratulations, everybody, get your pink slips to everyone that did, pass the class. So once he called my name, he told me, I want to give it to you, but as soon as I talk to your teacher, which is my, IEP coordinator, a teacher, not a paraeducator. So, and then I just went off, crying. I was went off, a little tears because I did not get my, pink certificate completion. So even my PE teacher, adaptive PE teacher told me to just accept it. And, which I was very upset.
Do you mean accept the fact that you're not going to graduate on time because you didn't get your certificate of completion for your driver's ed?
Because I did not. Because they felt I was immature. They felt I wasn't ready at the time, which I was very upset. I was very excited. And when I didn't get it, they didn't give me a good reason why I didn't get it. If they gave me a good reason, my life would turn out a little bit better than what it is. So
it's a lot. It was not good. Explain to me the facts, though. You did well in the class. You did well with the driving and everything. You passed. You said that you got a C.
Well, first of all, my first quarter grade, it was credit, no credit. My second quarter grade, it was a C. So it's like, and I told my driver's education, I'm getting pink slip. He told me I was getting pink slip. See, reason I couldn't get the pink slip, not because of my driver's education teacher, I couldn't get it because of my IEP. That's why I couldn't get it.
So you couldn't get it because the IEP coordinator said that they felt like you weren't ready to drive. Is that what it was?
Yes.
That's a bunch of garbage, man. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. That makes I get angry just hearing that. That's ridiculous. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, man. Was this when in 2004?
This was back in 2002. 2001, 2002 school year, my sophomore year.
I was in high school at that time as well. I remember it was a little more brutal back then, less diverse. Neurodiversity was not understood yet, not by a long shot. Um, I didn't particularly have a good time in that era as well. But we learn and grow from these situations. We have to realize it's not our fault. It's not your
Nope.
fault, man. You did what you could at the time. You actually passed the class with a C, and you got denied graduation because you didn't get your pink slip only because of somebody's opinion. Am I right?
Yes.
That is just wrong, dude.
Well, actually, I was the only kid. There's other kids that are able to drive, did not get the pink slips, and they were sure they had the same, you know, madness and upsetness like me. I was not the only one.
No, but it doesn't change the fact that it's wrong.
No.
That's why I would love to get the Autism Education Act in full stream and full steam. K through 12, all public schools, ASAP, we get that going. And
Yeah.
and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be rocking. And I feel like all this bullying and all this discrimination, garbage that's not based on merit, but based on opinion, is gonna be greatly reduced, if not greatly reduced, diminished completely. Because that's what you guys deserve. Dude, you didn't deserve to have autism. You didn't deserve to have ADHD and ADD. This is something that was given to you. And,
I'm
and now you're born with it, and people need to understand you didn't cause this. This is not your fault. Therefore, you should not be penalized for it. And therefore, you should be able to enjoy the beautiful rights of this country called America and the beautiful rights of being a human being. You're a human being. I see you as an individual with
Yes.
strengths and weaknesses just like everybody else. You have a wonderful mind when it comes to building cars. That's your special interest is cars, and you love to drive them. So therefore, you should not be denied a pink
You
slip.
have a, you
Why?
have a
Because
car.
of somebody's opinion? That's textbook discrimination.
Yeah, but cars was always my main passion since I was a very little kid. I could play with Hot Wheels, Matchbox, and other toys. I'm actually buying Tomica toys just to play with, just in case I feel bored and stuff like that in my house. Just in case I feel bored and stuff like that. So, you know,
Yeah. You know, that's why we have to pass your bill as well. Driver's education. But you talked about that earlier when we were having coffee. You're a great guy. I've known you for a few years. And
yes.
you were saying that this bill for driver's education needs to be passed. I'm really curious about what that is, and all the viewers out there are very curious about it as well. Why don't you tell us about that? I hand the microphone over to you.
Well, the reason I want to pass this bill, so it would less discriminatory, of course. The bill would help, the special education students are able to drive should have the option to take driver's education, and that should be on the IEP, not, single them out, not forced just to take public transportation, but have that as an option to take driver's education, the ones who are able to drive. And I know these days that we don't have, driver's education classes anymore in public schools in the state of California and any other states in the United States. So now we have Uber, we have Lyft, we have public transit, we have all these access now that when we were coming up, we didn't have those access. So this bill will make sure that they have the right to take driver's education as an option if they're able to drive regardless of the disability, regardless of the individual person. That's the reason why I want to do this bill. So they don't have to go through what I went through, my experience, and when I went through, the other kids that went through the experience when they're in high school.
So
That
what you're saying, it's a great idea. Beautiful. So what
yes, it
you're
is.
saying is make sure that you pass this bill that requires students to take driver's education just as an option. And if they don't pass the class or for some reason they don't get the pink slip, they can still graduate and they can take the driver's education program after they graduate or at a different time. All right?
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will sign it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You deserve a fair shot, just like everybody else.
World and family, around the country, the world's watching me. So I want to put this video, let them know that they can't just treat people like that because your disability, because you were able to drive regardless. Because the
Come
majority,
way beyond just driving, man.
the majority of that should be up. The majority that should be up to parents to decide if this child is ready, not the teachers, not the IEP coordinator, not the teachers.
No, they
That's
were wrong in doing that. They were wrong in doing that. It's based on merit. In my opinion, it should be based on merit. You put in the hard work, you get the grades, you pass the class, you drive. Period.
yes.
Okay? None of us, well, I don't think he's ready to drive, really, seriously, because, and then therefore you couldn't graduate, right?
No, I did graduate from high school. That we take. It's credit, no credit. So because old enough to get the pink certificate of completion, you had to have a letter grade to pass the class to get your pink certificate of completion. So you took credit, you couldn't get the pink slip.
But
And
you,
probably because I took credit no credit, because they felt that I was not ready. That's why I took credit no credit. So the old enough to get the pink slip for driver's ed, you had to take the test in the school. You had to have a letter grade to get the pink slip. That's just the way it was. It was state required at the time. When we had driver's education, yes.
so you didn't graduate on time.
No, I did graduate from high school. I, I did pass as required to graduate. I did graduate, yes.
I'm glad you did graduate.
High school, yes, I did. Yep, sure did.
But you didn't graduate at the time that you wanted to because you had this stuff to deal with.
Well, let's just say that I passed the class, but I could get the pink slip because not because of my driver's education. I couldn't get the pink slip because of my IEP coordinator. It was my IEP. That's why I couldn't get the pink slip. But I did pass the class to graduate. I just couldn't get the pink slip.
Martin, you have every right to feel upset about that. It's
I'm
not your
very
fault. It's the fault of ignorance.
I'm
Ignorance
finally over it
happens.
now. I'm very upset. Finally over it.
Yeah, I would too. How dare they deny you that? Because they think that you can't drive. Well, show them the facts. You passed the class. You got a lot of the enough answers right. You're proving right now that you're a decent human being. You're not upset. You have typical emotions. You drive. That's it. I have some good ideas that actually can use
But
the driving age down, bring it down to like 14 or 15, but I'll tell you about that later. But anyway, your idea is wonderful, and discrimination in any form is wrong,
yes.
and it's human nature to discriminate, and the thing is that we have to look out for is we don't realize we're doing it. Way to check ourselves, to ask ourselves the question, what can I learn from this situation? What can I learn from this? Do I know everything? And it's okay that I don't know everything, you know?
The alphas and the alphas, the millennials, the alphas and the Gen Zs and the alphas, they are, they have it easier now. It's easy to get your license now compared to our generation was.
Yeah. But the millennials, the ones that we were born in 1986, it was Gen X and the older generation were in control still, and it was just nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves because I think that you should not have this. You're not going to get it. It's like, if I were you, I would say, you know what you did there, what you said to me right there was wrong and inappropriate. And I get kind of in their face and say, calmly though, I'll say, you know what, you're wrong. And I'm going to prove you wrong. I deserve to have the same rights as everybody else. Dang it. That's
the reason why I was so successful in my job, because one of the reasons I have to prove them wrong. Because when I went through high school, that's why I was so successful in my job, because when I went through one of the main things when I went through in high school, and you know what, UPS was the best thing that happened to me, because to give me the same opportunities as everybody else to prove that I could do this job and to be somebody in the world and better myself, you know?
Here, the thing is, something that I've learned, Martin, is that a lot of times, especially my colleagues and people who don't have autism or they don't have ADHD or not neurodivergent, they don't have experience. So that I feel bad for them because they don't have experience, and it's very hard for them to understand what it's like to be on the autism spectrum. And so we have to be more patient with them. It's not, we have to realize the same way that it's not your fault that we may act a certain way, and to us that's fine, but to them it's like, oh, that doesn't look right because I'm not used to it. That's weird. That's that word, right? Weird. But here's the deal. Yeah, it's weird and it's cool at the same time. Why is it cool? Because they get to understand, finally, they get the opportunity to learn that, hey, just because it looks weird doesn't mean it's bad. It's just outside the box. It's just something that Einstein, Beethoven, Mozart, Bill Gates, I think Donald Trump's on the spectrum, by the way. Elon Musk, and yeah, Donald Trump. It's something that they all do, and it's quirkiness. And hey, for a celebrity to make it in the presidency and to be quirky himself, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. He's kind of making neurodivergence popular, you know. And the thing is, to start with neurotypical people who already tend to not have the best understanding because they are not in the shoes of a neurodivergent person, is to ask this question: is it their fault that they were born with autism or ADD? Is it their fault? What's the answer?
No. They were not actually born with it.
So there you can ask, then why should they be punished for something that they have no control over?
Well, teachers didn't understand at the time. They had other disciplines and stuff. And back then, they just didn't understand at the time. But now, you know, it's a different world. A lot of teachers are a lot more, probably more patient with them now than, you know.
Finally catching up a little bit. Yeah. Well, with some patience with this podcast series that we're doing, we're going to go straight up to 500, boy. One step at a time. And it's going to be amazing with our patience, and slowly and maturely and surely, people who are neurotypical are going to understand autism and neurodivergence. They will, because we care about them. Just like we care about people who are neurodivergent, we care about neurotypicals. Neurotypicals, you know, not everybody's the same. Obviously, there's different types, and just like there are different types of people on the spectrum and autism, some people are really, really, really high functioning, and some people have different gifts, you know.
I can tell you, my parents believed in me I can drive, but it was the IAP, you know, coordinator at, you know, Memorial High School that denied me of the pink slip, regardless if my parents say no or not. I would be very excited that I have the option to get the learner's permit. You know, I would be very excited. And I want to think that my driver's education was going to give me the pink certificate completion, but it was denied by my IEP coordinator. So my driver's education teacher was right on point. He was going to take me to a driving course at school in the school car, teach me how to drive. So, you know, but since it was my IEP coordinator said no, and that's why I became very upset at the time when we had it.
You had every right to be upset about
that. Huh?
You have every right to be upset about that.
Yes, I do.
Take that. I'm surprised you didn't take that to court and sue them. You had a right to sue.
Yeah, that's what my aunt would have told me.
I would. If I were you and that happened to me, oh yeah, I would sue them. I would sue them for every penny.
But actually better, you know, my kids tell you most, you know, I recommend my kids to take driver's education on outside the schools, so they don't have to go through what I went through.
That's great. You know what? You're well aware that we're working on autism acceptance. Acceptance is love. And my dream, not only my dream, but the dream of millions and millions and millions of Americans out there, and millions of people in the world, because we are a world system now with the social media and everything. We're a one world system. I admit that. And so, on behalf of everybody who's had their rights denied, everybody who's had their rights stepped on, rights reduced, I say to all you guys, you matter. Martin, you matter. Everybody matters. Black lives
Yes.
matter. People on the
Yes.
autism spectrum matter. People who have ADD matter. People with Down syndrome matter. Everybody matters. And everybody deserves the rights and liberties that this country offers and that the world really offers. Humanity offers. The right for intimacy. The right for being what you want to do, whether it's being in the music business, being a great pop star, or being a beautiful professor in a great school, or a beautiful driver for UPS like yourself. And
Yeah.
you guys and everybody should be able to enjoy the climb up to the top and be able to do that at a reasonable time without too much interruption, because things happen in life. But we always get up, we always try again, and everybody's rights should be equal and should be accessible in a way that everybody is treated fairly. I mean,
yes.
that's what it is. Because again, the question comes back to a couple of them. Did you choose to have autism?
No.
You
Not
didn't
at
plan
all.
for it. Nobody does.
No.
Nobody did. So therefore, it makes sense that they should be accommodated and to get the best privileges possible and best human rights possible to enjoy life to the fullest extent, just like neurotypicals, just like everybody else.
Yes.
Straight, LGBTQ, it doesn't matter. You're born a certain way, you should be able to be the best version possible of yourself, Martin. That's my dream for this world, right there. And,
Yes.
and that's what autism education is all about in the schools. And guess what? I am going to push hard to make sure that your bill is included in that.
Yes. Definitely. Thank you. That'll be very, very helpful. Extremely helpful.
Your bill is very, very important.
It'll make my life feel better if you put that bill into law.
You deserve
Yeah.
to have the same rights as everybody else,
Yes, I do.
and you deserve beautiful success with a,
Yeah.
if you choose to get married, have kids,
Yes.
or maybe be single for the rest of your life. It's whatever you really, really want. You work for, you master, and you can do it. And of course, I'm here making it easier for you. I'm here making it easier for everybody who's minority group, and even making it easier for people who are in the majority, who are neurotypical, who want to learn about this. There are a lot of people who want to know, who unfortunately, because maybe they're not on the autism spectrum, don't know what it's like. I mean, there are great qualities of having autism, not just the qualities of meltdowns or being overstimulated. There's great qualities too, like being a great musician, great artist, great driver like yourself. I mean, you're a great gentleman. Fine
Yes, I
gentleman.
am.
I appreciate you very much, Martin, for coming on my show tonight. Thank you.
Thank
And we're going to pray about this. And more importantly, we're going to hope for the best. We're going to get the word out there about what autism really is and what.
All Driver's Education, Special Education, High School Fair Act for all special education students that are able to drive regardless of their disability.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That's what I want. That's what I want for the state of California. Hopefully this bill will pass on the rest of the country, rest of the states and rest of the country, United States. Yep, that's what I want. That's my goal.
If we don't quit, we'll get it. Okay?
Thank you so
And
much.
we will not quit. We're going to push on and on and on, and we are going to be patient with everybody. And this dream is going to become a reality very shortly.
That's what I want. Yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and play a song for you that's going to support your bill. I hope you. Thank you for being on my show, Martin. What Martin McCovey has described is discrimination in our public school system. It is wrong because it's based on an opinion, not merit. The merit is he passed the class, therefore he should be able to be granted the privilege to drive. But because of an opinion, he was denied that. We push back on this so hard on every angle and every way possible. We double down on that through this beautiful song about victory. I've been called every name in the book, treated worse than a slave of Captain Hook. I know I'm weird, but there's nothing